Welcome and thanks for coming to our new time, 10 a.m. Thursdays. Appreciate you guys getting the message and adjusting. If you're new here, my name is Alex. I'm one of the co-founders at Evolve Well, and super grateful to have you here. And if you come back regularly, welcome back. Thank you for taking the time to make this practice important for yourself and for all the ways in which your presence brings more light and love to our little community and to the world. Just want to honor all of the work that each of you do in your own way to be able to give your gifts and tend to your shadows. So, how we do this practice is often, I like a little bit of storytelling at the beginning, and I think that's helpful as we're in the midst of so many stories falling apart or not having much meaning anymore. And I was on a podcast interview recently where we were kind of talking about emergent narratives, what's sort of being birthed in the collective right now. And I wanted to bring around a topic that I feel really deeply moved by. And sometimes I talk about it when I talk about grief, or I talk about how grief and praise are essentially lovers together. But this has to do more with the sort of the way in which our culture seeks for a better outcome or hope as a way of motivating doing the work of self-knowing. And, sometimes the words spiritual bypassing get thrown around with a lot of judgment and blame. But I think it's important to look at this piece with some compassion and care, which is that when you look at the world around you, you'd be like, yeah, man, I wish it was better than this. Couldn't we do better? Like that's a legit feeling to have. But I think the trick comes in if we attach what motivates us to the idea that somehow by doing this, we're going to transform our world into something better. Then when it doesn't transform into that better thing, we feel despair and we feel lost and we feel heavy. And I think the best way I could describe my personal role in this lifetime is more as a hospice worker for the ending of many things. Some people call that a death doula. That was my first training when I got out of music school. I helped people die, and I saw how our culture doesn't train people to die well. It trains them to be afraid of death and to experience death in an isolated way with a lot of medical experts around them who are also in situations of control and fear. And if you sort of look at the bigger lens of what that means in a death-phobic culture that doesn't know how to grieve well, you get to see why we can't stop consuming the planet to death. We're so afraid of it, we're doing anything we can to comfort ourselves against this thing that we fear. And when I say we, I mean the dominant culture of the Western world that's extractive and colonial and has built a lot of convenience on taking. Yeah. And so, why talk about this? Well, I think it's really important to use these practices to ask the question, what does it mean to live a life so that you die well? What does that even look like? And what it looks like is regularly practicing letting go, feeling into the groundlessness of reality, that there's actually nothing to hold on to, and finding the courage to keep doing the work in this time of being death doulas, of being with the ending of so many things. There's so much ending right now on any given day. We're in a mass extinction. So there's species going extinct all the time. There's ecosystems on the brink. I actually learned this lesson really big time when I was fighting to try and save some of the last old growth forest in British Columbia. And when I went to do that, what I found was that the powers that be were all aligned with extracting these ancient trees at any cost. They weren't there to help protect them. And the people that were gathered there were traumatized by the fact that these trees were getting cut down, and they were fighting back against, the power. And there's nothing wrong with that, but what I ended up doing was holding space for grief, because I didn't feel like anybody was willing to feel that or knew how to. And that to me was a really powerful lesson of, like, just when you think the world around you would want to pay attention and stop extracting and killing and being numb to a violent way of living, it's actually accelerating and going faster. This kind of resource extraction is happening faster than ever. And the whole culture is kind of built on that in a way, right? Our convenience comes at a massive cost. And I think it's really good to be real about that, because a lot of times when we first get into spiritual practice, it's about bliss and just feeling good no matter what. But when we come down to the level of what's actually going on and we look at the cost that our culture has extracted from this world, there's a lot of grief there. And what do we do with that, right? Can we sit with it? Can we find our way back to something that's really sacred and special and precious about life, no matter what happens around us? Can we just be thankful for this breath, and thankful for the body, and thankful for the love that we have in our lives? And not need anything to get better out there in order for us to be grateful. It's also something I learned in addiction. It's like when you're first recovering from addiction, they just want you to be grateful for something simple, because your life isn't really getting that much better just by stopping doing the thing that was causing you and people around you harm, and I think the world is not motivated to change until it gets really, 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 really uncomfortable, because we're really addicted to this way of life, this, way of convenience. So I say this not to sort of set some sort of prescriptive and heavy tone at the beginning of practice, but because I just like hanging out in this end of the pool. I like hanging out in this real place of what's actually happening. And this is obviously just my perspective. You have your own perspective. Sometimes I do hear people wanting to bypass grief and focus just on the good things. And, that's okay. Again, there's lots of compassion for why you would want to do that. Because the ungrieved parts of the world can be overwhelming. But when we do it together, and like we did last time, we did Tonglen, where we're breathing in the suffering of the world and exhaling out compassion, that's, to me, is part of this doula training. And whatever gets birthed next doesn't necessarily have to include humans. We're very anthrocentric in our culture, right? We think it's all about us, again, as a dominant culture. Whatever comes next might not include us, and that's okay too. So there we are. And I do hope that whatever you need for yourself today, you get from this journey. I hope that whatever your heart is carrying, whatever's in your body, whatever your soul needs, that you continue to let it all go and breathe it all in. And find your way back home. So with that, let's dig in. Let's go home together. So just inviting you to find a comfy posture. Relaxing your gaze and turning your gaze inward. And maybe just sit with this question of what stories are you ready to let go of? And what stories would you like to embrace? What stories allow you to be more at peace with the world the way it is, not wishing it would change so that you can feel better, while being kind and compassionate to the part of you that wants to feel better. It's okay to be comfortable. It's okay to want peace in the world. But we don't necessarily have to attach ourselves to that outcome. And so when we let that story go, what story is there that wants to emerge? How can we give ourselves to this humble breath a little bit more? And as you start to notice your breath today, I just want to invite you to feel your tailbone. Feel the ground of your pelvis. We call it the pelvic floor. It's this incredible group of muscles and tendons, nerves, connective tissue that sits at the base of the pelvis and literally holds everything up. But it's this very fluid membrane as well, that when you breathe, if you could imagine breathing down into the hips, as you inhale, the tailbone comes back slightly to open up some space, to bring blood and oxygen and nutrients into your roots. And as you do that, just begin to soften your eyes and soften your brow. Let your tongue rest. Let your ears soften and open. And so you're listening to and sensing the breath as it comes in and out of the body. Letting your pelvis relax, open. Letting gravity draw you down. And then just tuning into the sensations in your heart. With each breath, can you accept life on life's terms? Can you allow life to just be the way it is? And notice what arises in the heart when we breathe in acceptance and we exhale softness and surrender. Breathing in acceptance and allowing. Exhaling softness and surrender. Remembering that you're good just the way you are. Nothing more is needed for peace. Feeling your inner kindness, your warmth, your generosity. Feeling your struggles with your shadows. Just inviting in this compassionate witness that can just notice it all and be detached in a way of compassionate witnessing, allowing. Yeah, we are all just walking each other home. Thanks, Zoe. So if you can imagine all the beautiful souls on this call, hand in hand, arm in arm, just gently walking perhaps into a beautiful sunset or across some gorgeous landscape. Noticing the beauty that each of us carries, smiling, enjoying the presence of awake and compassionate hearts. And then if you can imagine being joined by all the beings throughout time who have worked tirelessly to awaken from suffering, dedicating their lives to conscious practices, joyfully being selfless, just breathing that in. We're never alone. And then noticing your connection to awareness itself. This vast and unknowable thing that is everywhere and nowhere. It's both nothing and everything. And we belong to it. So just breathing in that sense of belonging. Perhaps if it feels comfy to put a hand on the heart and a hand on the belly. And just sigh your voice out. Sigh your way home. Again, imagining all the beautiful people on this call and all the beautiful beings in the world waking up, sighing together. How can we use the presence of death to learn how to live a good life? There's no need to wait until we're dying. We can just be here and invite death in. Allow your heart to open to the fact that one day death will come for you, and it's okay. You're gonna be okay. Just be here. Let the power of death magnify your presence and gratitude for this moment. And feel the gift of your body, the pulsing of your heart. Quiet creation of blood from your bones. All the ways in which you feel and touch and taste and smell and experience. Just giving thanks for the gift of this instrument. So we're going to open up the voice a little bit more before we start breathing. But in order to do that, we're going to take some breaths first. So breathing down again into the pelvis, into the pelvic floor, into the hips, into the belly. Let your voice be a little bit present on the exhale. Bringing more voice into the exhale. Love yourself. See if you can breathe and sound yourself into a smile. Hey. Hey. Just like that. Hey. Soft and effortless, but rooted and grounded in your core and down into the earth, opening up the crown to the sky. Letting your neck unwind a little bit, softening the jaw some more, opening up the back of the heart. Okay, so we're just going to ride the voice a little bit more, staying with the breath and the heart. Feel your connection to the divine. Sing to her. Whatever it is that you pray to, whatever words you use to connect with that unknowable presence, just sing to that. Just saying hello to life. Take some breaths, take some sighs. just staying in the voice a little bit more, loving the breath, loving the voice, loving yourself. Sing your prayers out. Soft cheeks, soft eyes. Sing to your heart. Nice deep breaths. If you hear harmonies, you can sing harmonies. Feel your devotion. Listening and breathing. That's where it's at. Sing for freedom. Sing for love. Bring all your devotion into your voice, to your breath, to your softness. Free yourself from your own judgment. Just let it all come out. You do that with a soft heart, soft eyes, soft ears. Know that you are loved and you are love. Well, now of your ancestors, sing peace to them. Peace and acceptance, love and kindness. It's okay. All that it's become before, all that will happen after, it's okay. Okay, nice deep breath all the way in. Sigh it out. Soft jaw, soft eyes. Take this last one in and hold it all the way. Lift your pelvic floor up. Press your lower belly in towards your spine. Feel the totality of your instrument. Let that awareness guide your way up through the heart, through the throat, into the mind. And when you're ready, exhale all the way out into stillness. And just be with the emptiness once again. Be with the deep silence that touches all things. Remembering that all of what Mama Music has to offer comes from stillness and nothingness and emptiness. So just taking a nice deep breath all the way in, sighing it out. And we're going to bring this beautiful song back that I was playing at the beginning. Old story. Just tuning back into what stories can be let go of so that we can make space for something new. Feel free to rest or breathe with me.
You could play it out, but all of it's in your head. Holding on with both two hands. Gotta let go now. Is it really you knocking at your own door? Always looking for something more. Don't be a fool. Don't be a fool. Oh no, no, no. You just gotta let that old story go. You just gotta let that good river flow into your heart. It's a start. It's a start.
Nice deep breaths all the way in. Soft heart, soft belly.
Where you gonna run to? If you're gonna run from here, only running from your own fear. It'll catch up now. Gotta let it die. Gotta let it go its own way. Who will you be if you let it stay? I'm afraid. I'm afraid. Oh no, no, no. You just gotta let that old story go. You just gotta let that good river flow into your heart. It's a start. Oh no, no, no. You just gotta let that old story go. You just gotta let that good river flow into your heart. It's a start. Just gotta let that old story go. Oh no, no, no. You just gotta let that old story go. Oh no, no, no. You just gotta let that old story go. You just gotta let that old story go.
breath going nice and deep. Allow spaciousness into the bones, spaciousness into the hips, and surrendering completely on the exhale. Nothing to hold on to. Soften everything. Relax the jaw, relax the eyes. Relax down the back of the heart. Just a few more breaths. Okay. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. Sigh it out. And take one more nice deep breath all the way in and hold it. Raise that energy up from your roots, up into the mind, into the pineal gland. Feel the totality of your instrument, of this beautiful gift of the body. Heaven and earth. Feel the sky. Feel the trees. Feel the ocean. Feel the mountains. The deserts. And all our relations as we exhale. Pausing once again in this place of stillness and emptiness and deep, abiding silence. return to being a compassionate witness of the part of us that is afraid to end. Can we sit in compassionate witness of everywhere that fear arises in our world and causes suffering? Can we accept it and send it loving kindness? And then noticing in your life the places where you're holding back and waiting for something to change in order to be given permission to give yourself fully to the practice of waking up from the suffering that we all create for ourselves. And forgiving the part of us that is stubborn and habituated and addicted to a way of thinking and feeling that has been around for a long time. Scarcity, fear. It's okay, and it can die, it can be let go of, it can evolve. When you are in tune with the divine, you get to be the architect of the unfolding of your heart and the awakening of your mind and the enlivening of your body. Just resting in this divinity, this consciousness of love. When you feel ready to take some deeper breaths and orient yourself back into your space, maybe inviting a little bit of movement back into the body, and just noticing, what are you bringing with you into your days from this beautiful practice time that you gifted yourself? How can you invite more of this into your life? More softness, more space, more awareness, more kindness. Blessings on your journey.